I mean, I think that there is a place for Sand Putt Lab.
For sure.
We've proven that, being able to match a putter up to your stroke pattern.
Sand Putt Lab's proven I can hook anything.
Exactly.
Once I get good top, I got the ball rolling real quick.
Yeah, real quick. Real quick and real left. And that's the nice thing. That's what I love about Sand Putt Lab. It lets you know what your stroke is doing. So when you go out there, and I tell people all the time, go out and look at the percentage from each distance of putts on PGA Tour and what the percentage of make is. Because when you're on the putting green putting with your buddies and you think you should make that 8-footer, well, that 8-footer is less than 65% on PGA Tour.
I was going to say, it always cracks me up when somebody misses like an 8-footer. Like, I should have made that.
Or a 12-footer. And I'm like, you almost had...
PGA Tour average from that range is 40%. And you think you're a better putter than them, right? Because, let's face it, until you get over 50%, you shouldn't have made it. Yeah. Your chances are greater that you miss it than you made it.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back to podcast episode 24 here at Loggerhead Golf. So we're changing seasons. Tell our clients and our listeners how we prepare for the fall season and winterize, your golf clubs. And then some people may not even think that's a thing, but for me, it certainly is.
For me, it is. I mean, I learned firsthand on Sunday. I'm like, oh, we're gonna go play afternoon golf. I had shorts and a shirt on and walked out the door. I said, nope.
Yeah. Gotta put on some more clothes,
55 degrees.
Yeah, turned right around, and my first, I'm not just saying this, but my first thought was, well, damn, the ball's going to go so much shorter. Because literally 2 weeks ago, I told Caleb the ball was flying the furthest it's flown all season.
So you were saying you finally got used to your summer yardages.
I finally got used to my summer yardages.
Yep.
No more.
And then, welcome to North Carolina, where just bam, switches just like that. And I joked because it was cold yesterday morning too. We only have summer and winter here.
That's true.
Shoulder season, even though it's fall.
Yeah, Wilmington's kind of like its own microclimate. We don't get really 4 seasons. We might get 3, but we definitely don't get 4.
Nah. So I usually have a short spring for sure.
Yeah, and December will get back up into the 70s, and we're going to wear shorts at Christmas. And
it'll be in the 30s in February.
Yep, February and March is just going to be absolutely miserable.
But anyway, so what are we doing to our golf clubs
for me,
this time of season?
Yeah, for me personally, grips are a big thing. So I use Golf Pride Z Grip in the summer, mid-size.
All 3 of us do.
Yeah.
Yep, so for me in the winter, that grip gets really firm. It tears up my gloves. My hands are drier in the wintertime, so it hurts my hands. So I go a little softer.
Yeah.
So I've been doing the...
Got to take care of your hands.
Got to take care of your hands. Got to keep them soft. Golf Pride CP2 Pro is the one I've been using, but what I'm really excited about, we just brought in a new line here at Loggerhead, the Ionic grips, which I'm super stoked about. And what's cool about the Ionic, they have all these wicked colors, which kind of really individualize your golf clubs, and we're all about the customization here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try an Ionic grip here soon and see how that goes.
Now, they're pretty firm.
I'll say they are firm.
Yeah.
But they're tacky.
They're tacky. Yeah, they kind of have a soft feel, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same. Grips are super important to me in the off season, or I say the off season, but the cooler seasons. I play the Z cord mid-size as well too, but you play with that grip all summer long. It's hot, your hands sweat, and all those oils get soaked into that grip. And in the wintertime, if you don't change your grips, they start to feel really hard and slick. So I stick with the Z cord. It's a grip I like, but I like a fresh one so it doesn't feel slimy sometimes in the cool mornings playing golf.
Yeah, you see that?
And I just changed my dang grips.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be the one that's probably like most golfers. The grips is the last thing I ever change. Like I don't change until someone's finally like, dude, your grips are gross. Because I just grab the club and go.
Dude, your grips are gross.
So I did finally just change, and I play Z cord plus 3 wraps total, mid-size, and I don't know what. Last winter was the first winter I truly felt like my hands got super dry. Like there was a few rounds where my hand was moving inside my glove. Like that's how dry it was.
CCNC.
Yes. Yep. And was brutally cold that day, but I couldn't hold on to a golf club. And I just think it was technically my first full winter back. because I spent winters down in Florida where it's 75 degrees and sunny. But I'm probably either going to try the Ionic grip or might go a different route and move to like the Lambkin UTX.
Okay.
Because that Lambkin UTX isn't as rough of a cord. Has that little bit of tackiness to it. I don't know.
So that coarser texture on the Z cord is what I like about it.
Yeah. So, and that's what I like about it too. But if I can't hold on to it, then it's no good.
True. I'm thinking about trying out some of the Ionics on something and see if I like it in the wintertime. But
yeah,
I like how low torque it is. So like my number one nemesis, what I don't like about a grip is if I can feel that grip squish a little bit or move in my hands when I swing the golf club, then I'm done. That's why I've stuck with the Z cord.
That's why I'm thinking about the Ionic.
Yeah.
Because that CP2, I love it.
Yeah.
But it does feel a little squishy.
Especially in the mid-size.
Well, I'd say you play mid-size, so that standard doesn't really move. But that mid-size, for whatever reason, and the most important part of the grip is the butt section.
Yeah.
Like right at the end of the cap.
Say to me, right underneath the left pinky.
Yep. If that feels like that's like moving.
Nope.
Then
Can't do it.
Nope. So
how do you guys prep differently tournament golf wise in cold conditions or cooler conditions? I mean, obviously for me personally, it gets harder to swing the more layers. Like I have 3 layers on this morning. But this is something I could swing in because it's lighter underneath.
Right.
Got a golf shirt on. I got a pullover, light pullover, and then I just have, this
so let's
vest.
start with clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So clothing wise, I can't do it. I can only play in 2 layers. So like when it's really cold, I don't even wear a golf shirt. I grab my hunting fleece and put that on, and then I go golf pullover over. If it's slightly too warm for a hunting fleece, then I'll go with a pullover, like golf shirt pullover vest. I'm a big vest guy when it comes to winter because honestly my arms can be cold. I just can't stand like when my neck chest area gets
your core
cold.
area.
Yeah. And then I also use a hand warmer. I have the same QB sleeve from football in high school that your hands are the most important thing.
Yeah,
you got to keep
absolutely.
your hands
They
warm.
say it all the time.
You gotta have feel.
If you're camping, things like that, your feet, hands, and ears are the most important things to keep warm. So it's like I tell myself, if those are warm, then I don't care about my arms.
Right. I say for me, layers never really bothered me, but I couldn't stand wearing thick clothes. So I always tried to wear several really light layers and just layer up. It's like I start with an undershirt, like a Under Armour undershirt. And then
An undershirt.
I'm trying not to
Sure.
short, and it's a daily battle. And then a couple like a really light pullover, and then maybe a slightly thicker pullover over that. But I'm not going to wear anything bulky like that vest. To me, Daryl would be too bulky for me. I don't want that, so I'll just wear a couple light layers.
Yeah,
layer up that way.
Yeah. Now that being said,
long johns.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can't give out.
I love my like long john pants. That right there. If you keep your legs warm, you'll always feel warmer.
Also, something you never think about. A lot of these golf shoes now are fake leather, and your feet get terribly cold.
Oh yeah, I hate my toes getting cold.
I've had a lot of these newer style golf shoes to where they're like that fake leather made to look like a tennis shoe, and they're the coldest damn shoe in the world. So it's like my FootJoy Premiers are my winter golf shoe because that leather does keep that heat in.
I say, or you can be like me and your feet are just always hot and they sweat.
Yeah,
actually, I'll pack an extra pair of socks.
There you go.
Put an extra pair of socks in my bag at a turn. Pull the old
Now,
socks
Caleb,
off.
do you do that just for tournaments, or do you do that for a normal round of golf?
If it's cold, I'll do it for a normal round of golf.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But
I make sure I don't forget.
I'll say that's our point because clothing wise, tournament, non-tournament, it's like if I want to play golf, I'm trying to go out there and play the best that I can for that day.
Yeah,
So I'm still going to prep clothing wise.
Yeah,
the same. I mean, now if it's ridiculously cold, I'll get that cart cover out. I'll get that heater.
Bougie
we had it in the middle of the cart this past winter.
we had the heater. Yeah.
So
I'm not scared. I'm not too prideful.
No, not at all.
Especially in these section events where they let us use carts, I'll throw a.
I've gotten old enough now where I don't care.
Yeah,
exactly. Oh yeah.
I tend to look at the weather And if it's windy and cold, I'll just go ahead and throw on my rain gear because I need something to block the wind. Mm-hmm. I'll throw on like a Under Armour layer, like a thermal layer, and then just like a golf shirt and then put on the rain jacket. And that frees me up to swing because I can't stand to be bound.
Yeah.
So having too many of those thicker layers on, so I'm probably more like you where I have more layers but thinner layers.
Yeah.
And then I too wear a thermal underneath my pants, golf pants usually, or I'll just throw on the rain pants because, you wouldn't believe how rain pants will actually hold heat in.
Yeah. I like sticking with the thermal though. I feel like the thermal for one keeps you warmer than the rain pants do, but I've always felt like the rain pants are a little bit bulky and hard to move in.
I was going to get me a Carhartt bib this year.
Yeah. We all know I got to have my legs,
Caleb got no legs. Got no legs in it.
So sticking to like tournament golf.
Yeah.
What do you guys have coming up? I know I've got a couple things coming up for tournament wise. Maybe our listeners want to kind of follow some of our tournament play.
So Caleb, you got?
I say, middle of November, I have the National Assistance Championship in Port St. Lucie, or at PJ Golf Club in Port St. Lucie, Florida. So that's what I'm getting ready for now. And then really the only thing else other than that, I got Carolina's Pro. I always play that every year.
Yeah. The right now only tournament for sure that I have coming up is the pre-qualifier for the Sea Island.
Okay.
I'm going to drive down to Georgia and do that.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's you got to pre-qualify to get in on Monday. So the pre-qualify, I think, is...
Where's the pre-qual at?
There's one of 3 courses. I think I'm going to do it at the King and Prince, which is on the north side of Sea Island. So, because Sea Palms is also hosting it, but they put out a statement in that one of the hurricanes that came through took down their net, so there's no driving range. They were like, you can drive 7 miles to King and Prince and warm up and then come down. I'm like, man, that like you would have to warm up and then
no, thank you,
and then drive 30 minutes and then you're not warm again.
Nah.
So I was like, no, I'll just go and. But they have 3 days, so I just got to decide which day I want to go down because it's going to be more or less like. I don't want to sound like I'm unprepared, but like I'm just going to go down and play.
Yeah,
like I'm not going to.
Low expectations
of. I mean, I think with how well I'm hitting it,
you could easily go out and have a good day putting.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think it's just going to come down to if the putts fall or not.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't need to go down and overthink it.
Right.
I don't need to play 2 practice rounds and all that. It's like just hit it in the middle of the fairway, hit it in the green, see if you make a putt.
Yeah,
that's it. Well, I got invited to the Azalea Invitational, and so I got that on the books. That's November 6th and 7th, and then I'm same as Caleb, Pro.
Yeah,
we're still deciding on who's going to that. I'm hoping that you and Caleb are going to play in it this year together, and me and Steve are going to play in it, and we'll have a little competition there.
Intercompany rivalry,
yeah.
I don't play for fun.
That's right.
Play for keeps. No, so I think tournament-wise, even though it's getting fall, I mean, the sunset's already, daylight's already.
I'm going to say the biggest change to me in fall golf is that sunsets earlier.
Yeah.
So let's talk about golf ball for a second.
Yeah.
So we already kind of alluded to the fact that the golf ball doesn't travel as far in the cold weather. Why is that? And so some of these guys that may be listening or ladies listening, why is it important? Or do you guys change your golf ball in the winter?
I'm going to disappoint you. Nah.
That's fine. That's good. I mean, that's a good answer, but some people do, and there's reasons why.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is this is the first year, and I'll kind of allude it to the equipment as well, where I might make an actual change in the winter. I've used to just play my clubs and play them through. Once I have something, I just tend to keep it. I think this year, like I am going to probably play a different set of irons this winter. I was going to say I'm going to keep my woods the same. I'm going to keep my wedges the same, but my irons, I'm going to change my irons. I'm probably going to go to the CBs in my lower irons and Apex Pros in my longer irons, just because I want that extra little bit of forgiveness and a little bit more ball speed. Because that makes sense. As that golf ball, as the cold weather comes, that golf ball gets firmer, doesn't compress as much. Your ball speed's going to go down.
Yeah.
So if I want to play, like right now, I like where my stock yardages are. I don't want to lose that. So I'm going to change my equipment to try and keep those numbers there, even with the winterized conditions. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a big change, right? I know not a lot of people have that option to change something that drastic, but
I was going to ask you because it was just yesterday. You said you felt like your bag was a little stagnant. You wanted to change something. I was going to ask, what do you want to change? But mainly the irons.
I want to change my irons. I did get the new 3-wood. I'm definitely changing that shaft. We haven't gotten along. I hit it well. It's just not seeing the launch window that I'd like. But irons, we posted our Apex video not too long ago, and I'm still kind of undecided, but I think I'm just going to order 2 sets. I'm going to get a set of MBs, and I'm going to get a set of CBs and Pros, and I'm just going to kind of mix them all together.
Mix and match
based
together.
on the season.
Yeah. So golf balls tend to have different compressions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So when it gets cold, the ball won't compress as much. So maybe that Pro V1X, and I'm hypotheticals here, Pro V1X may not compress as much as a Pro V1 when it gets colder.
Well,
You know, and I'm going to say to speak on TP5 because that's what I play. I played TP5X pretty much most of the year, but in the wintertime, that TP5X seems to get a little hard, especially off the driver face. Doesn't fly. I feel like it doesn't fly as far, and I actually hit the TP5 further in the wintertime than I do that TP5X. And I like that softness that it brings to the wedges and the irons as well, which in the summer it feels a little too mushy.
yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna burst your bubble, but cold air. Well, the golf ball is not physically harder or firmer in the wintertime. The compression doesn't matter, right? So ball speed, given that the swing speed stays the same, your ball speed will stay the same. Now, why does a golf ball fly shorter in the wintertime?
Air.
Cold air.
Yeah.
And so what we have to remember there is that the reason why the golf ball is not going as far in the wintertime is not because of performance drop-off in the golf ball. It's because the molecules of the golf ball are not as excited as they are in warmer temperatures, so they don't transfer as much energy. They don't fly as far. So realistically speaking, you shouldn't necessarily switch to a softer golf ball in the wintertime just because that you're going to be able to compress it more and hit it further. And the biggest change you're going to feel there or see there is feel.
Well,
So
I was going to say before, sorry, Daryl.
No, go ahead.
So I feel like in the wintertime, there would have to be a difference between a 4-piece ball and a 3-piece ball,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I know can't say it's compression something, but like that's where I was thinking listeners, like you got to pay attention to it. Because if you're playing a 3-piece golf ball right now, you know, and then wintertime, like there's not a lot of layers in there. Like I feel like that could get really rockish, even though it's technically softer.
Yeah. I would say the number one most important thing now, if you're someone that doesn't like a firmer feeling golf ball and you play a firmer ball in the summertime because you like the performance of it, go into a softer ball because the ball will feel physically harder. I mean, it's going to feel different because it's colder.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah,
But we're also colder.
Yeah.
You know, the biggest and the other biggest thing is we lose speed in the wintertime.
Yep. I lost my train of thought.
No,
Threw you off.
No, I will say, maybe comparing a TP5 to a TP5X isn't the right comparison, or Pro V1 to Pro V1X, but comparing a Srixon Z-Star to a TP5.
Right.
It's true.
They have completely different layers.
Right.
So one ball is going to be performed completely different in the winter than the summer. Yeah. Rather than in the summertime, all of them can kind of, you know, my golf spy does their ball test. And like I always feel like their testing is a little flawed because not everyone's making the same layered golf ball. They're not using the same materials. So it's like you can't really say what is the best ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, I will say the biggest thing you can probably do is while you're playing a golf hole and you got a ball in play, have one ball in your pocket.
I was going to say that's what my train of thought was. Like, keep your golf balls warm. Don't leave them in a cold garage or a cold car. You know, leave them inside. Take them to the golf course. You know, have a couple in your pocket. If you got a heater, maybe it's not cheating.
Yeah,
it's not cheating.
Keeping your golf ball warm is important. Quite honestly,
my dad's always been good about that. I've been bad, but I finally realized. And then, like my dad always told me, because I have like this little fleece bag that I keep all the balls that I'm actually going to play with in that bag. He told me like last winter, he's like, you should keep your balls in there because that keep it a little warmer than just keeping them in the sleeve in your bag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because that cardboard isn't gonna.
No, it's gonna block anything.
An idea now. Just take a hot hands and throw it in there.
Yeah,
you know
you could for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. just a little. Well, I won't talk about that yet.
I said one last little quick other thing about golf, like prepping your golf bag and preparing for a cold round of golf or cool season round of golf. Do not leave your golf clubs in your garage, or in your car.
Do not
take them inside.
Room temperature.
You know, if I'm playing around a tournament golf, my golf bag is going into the hotel room with me. Quite honestly, I'm probably pulling every golf club out of the bag, and I'm putting them near the heater in the hotel room because I want to keep my grips warm, my golf balls warm, and everything is, quite honestly, as warm as I can.
Yeah.
So golf shoes too. Take them inside. Don't leave them in the garage. I cannot stand put on a pair of cold golf shoes in the morning.
It's terrible. And then you got a cold sweat.
Ugh.
Nope. No. Yeah. Do not leave your clubs in your car. Actually, I mean,
don't do it ever. Don't do it ever.
No.
But especially in the wintertime, I can't stand cold grips.
So I wanted to talk about too how, because it's getting colder, we have more dew on the ground in the morning time, how that affects your shots and your approaches.
Yeah.
You know, for me, you start to see the skid on the greens. So that pitch shot that I hit in the summertime, where it kind of, that first hop, it bites real hard, and then it kind of trickles. Now it's like 1, 2, it's like skipping before it kind of
skips on the first bounce.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not hitting the brakes like it was.
Yeah.
So, you know, so now I'm starting to play a little bit more, maybe bumping runs or allowing the ball to run out more than trying to land it closer.
Yeah. I bring it, I take it, like, let's take it back to the start, right? So if we're up by the greens, we're talking about chip wedge shot. If the green's wet, so is where you're chipping from.
Yep.
Yeah.
What does water do to the club face of your wedge?
Well, it fills in the grooves.
Fills in the grooves.
Makes the grooves less
So
efficient.
technically, we can't say how much, but it will reduce spin, right? So whether you use a 60 degree, 56, pitch and wedge, whatever, it's going to launch lower and spin less. You know, so you kind of have to play for that skid. But at that point, if you have the option to, it is probably smarter to just bump and run it, because there will be, you'll actually have more friction. You'll actually have more friction on that golf ball to where,
get the ball stay on the face a little longer.
Yeah, stay on the face a little longer, to where even though it's coming out lower, it'll still have probably close to equal the amount of spin as if you grab your 60 degree and you just try to hit a little standard wedge shot.
Yeah.
You know, so and that's where, you know, wintertime, you got to, I say it all the time in playing lessons, stuff like that. You got to read your lie no matter what. But
take a towel.
But this, during the winter, especially, water gets on that club face, that ball can do crazy things, kind of knuckles. And, you know, so it's almost like you don't quite want to club up, but you also want to pick and choose. It's like, hey, am I going to play for the kind of center of the club face flyer?
Yeah.
Or am I going to play for the ball just like not getting in the air?
A little knuckleball.
So I have a great answer for those wet lies. The new MG4 wedge from TaylorMade.
Now, why is that, Daryl?
Because the grooves now have micro grooves in between each one.
The grooves have grooves.
Yeah. So they have, I would say there's slits in between the grooves, which helps disperse the water away from.
A little more effectively.
Yeah, a little bit more effectively, thus creating, supposedly, and I can say this from only the marketing material that I read and the tech that I'm receiving as a staff member, but you know, it's saying scientifically we create more spin off the wedge in wet conditions than any other wedge on the market.
So something else that the MG4 is doing as well too is they have a raw face.
Yeah, so it rusts.
Yeah,
and that rust creates an abrasive surface to create more spin.
You know, there's some testing been done recently to find out that yes, in certain moist conditions like dew on the ground.
Yeah, because that was all Jaws Rawls marketing jargon.
A rusty wedge can help produce a little bit more spin.
Yeah. New finish too. I like it. It reduces the glare, so it's kind of more of a satin type of finish. It's not that tour chrome where it blinds you when you're over the ball.
Yeah, it's definitely a tour. It's a tour influenced wedge.
Yeah.
I mean, the shaping of it's a really good looking wedge. I think they look a lot better than the MG3s. For sure.
Honestly, I would say the same. Several of the new grinds they have for the soles as well too look really good. Like they have good shaping to them. I feel like they could be really good in certain conditions.
They actually made the wedge a little bit bigger too this year.
Did they?
Yeah.
It doesn't look it.
It doesn't look it.
But I think that's also because of how square it is.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have that like kind of slight offset. kind of like a lot of companies are doing with the wedge.
Yeah, we have a full lineup of the wedges here at Loggerhead, so you can come get fitted, come see us. We'd love to fit you. We have a bunch of different shafts too, which is kind of unusual. The team here has put together a great lineup of shafts to kind of get you fitted for those wedges. So come check that out.
Yeah.
Something else that's new, our new L.A.B fitting cart.
Yeah.
L.A.B's has been crazy explosive for us here. The Mez putter's been doing really well. I mean, obviously there's been some highlights there on the tour.
It's had a lot of notoriety in recent events, you know, but which is a good thing.
Yeah, but it's done really well. And then number-wise on Sam Putt Lab, it's done extremely well as well. What do you guys like about it?
I like the fact that it takes somebody that maybe wasn't comfortable with the putter and it kind of gets them set up. There's no fiddling around with that putter. Like, so when you put the putter down on the ground, yes, you do have to aim it right, but the lie angle isn't ever going to change.
It does set up very square.
It sets up very square, gets your hands in the position it needs to be out of that fitting, right? We've determined that lie angle. Their whole name is lie angle balance.
Yeah.
But, you know, so I like for my students that have been using it, I like how it takes a lot of like the little things that people might be poor at, and it does it for them.
Yeah, it makes a
setup wise. Yeah.
Now off the face, it rolls the ball wonderfully.
Yeah.
Like
it's a different feel, different response off the face as well too.
You know, I like how tech it is, it still just has that like firm kind of almost clicky feel off the putter, which is nice. Me personally, I would never be able to putt with it just with how tall that face is.
The shape is a little hard.
My tendency is to already hit it on the bottom of the putter, so I don't need something taller to where it's even harder to get to that bottom.
You have a lot of ascending angle. Yeah, your rise angle is pretty steep.
Yeah, so but that putter is. I like the Mez, not the Mez Max, but the regular Mez.
Yeah, the Mez or the Mez
one.
Mini.
The Mini, the small one.
Yeah.
Now,
That's my favorite too.
customizations.
Yeah, the customization part of it's been.
That's what's cool too. You can pick out your alignment aid. You can pick out your color.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I say multiple different sight lines.
Yeah.
Now we all understand the positives of graphite. We've talked about it enough, but there's a reason why L.A.B's recommending the Acro shaft. You know, so yeah, even though it is, I think a $200 upcharge, it's worth it.
If you're going to invest in a nice
If the guys
putter,
that have created the scientific putter says that it makes that putter slightly better, then you should probably trust that.
It's worth it. Yeah.
Every advantage I can get.
Yeah. But
we all know I need all the help I can.
you know, Kyle has his hot pink lab now.
Yeah.
So,
Jeez.
you know, he's fired up about that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we also have a new lineup from Tour Edge that is great for the bargain putter.
Yeah.
But it's a completely milled putter.
The economy.
The economy. That's a good way to put it.
It's a milled face.
It's a milled face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the template series, and honestly, they look really good. They've got some nice designs there with a couple mallets and a couple blades.
I'll say this, and Caleb knows I give Scotty Cameron a lot of crap. You go grab that template face, you put it next to Scotty, that milling pattern looks very similar.
I agree.
Right? And, you know, for $130, you know, this is a perfect putter for somebody that's either getting into golf or has been playing golf and wants to try a milled putter.
Or try different shapes.
Try different shapes, but, you know, that maybe helps grow you into a different one, like an Odyssey or something like that, you know, because they have every neck style. They have different shapes. Cool enough for those golf course.
I was going to say my favorite thing about it is how they named it. Yeah. They use the Charles Blair McDonald golf course architect design template. So like Barrett's, Punch Bowl.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Redan, Eden. So like they use different, that's what the template series means.
Yeah.
They use each template that Charles Blair McDonald used in his golf course architecture.
Yeah, so they took the names and attached them to the different shapes. I think the Punch Bowl.
Yeah, Punch Bowl's a good one.
Punch Bowl, which the Punch Bowl is kind of like John Rahm's putter.
Yeah. That
like half moon kind of style.
Kind of mid-mallet.
Mid-mallet, a little bit of toe hang. I mean, that putter right there is, for $130, it looks as good as any other putter.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that you can come in, do a Sam Putt Lab, get a custom-fitted milled putter for less than what a Scotty Cameron's going to cost?
Yeah.
That's pretty,
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
$300 less.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. And that's why Tour Edge has always done so good. They have their own market. They don't try to do anything outside of that. Just like Scotty Cameron has its own cult following.
Yep.
Just like Ping has its own cult following, right? So, and that's the nice thing. But, through the Sam Putt Lab, I always tell people, go in open-minded because you'd be surprised at what it comes out with. Because at the end of the day, you should putt with what you roll the best. So.
It's true.
Doesn't matter what name's on it.
No. Does not.
No, I was told by a gentleman that doesn't matter what you putt with. If you're a good putter, the ball should go in.
True. I say because we haven't talked about the green reading part and things like that.
I mean, I would disagree to some extent. I mean, I think that there is a place for Sam Putt Lab.
For sure.
We've proven that, being able to match a putter up to your stroke pattern. So whether that's a face balance, slight toe hang, heavy toe hang, whatever the case may be, but once
Sam Putt Lab's proven I can hook anything.
Question is,
about
can you
6
aim
degrees
for it?
inside out on his fixed stroke?
Yeah. Path is 3 degrees right with a 4 degrees closed club face.
Exactly.
That's why I get good top. I got the ball rolling real quick.
Yeah, real quick, and real
And
left. Yeah, but I and that's the nice thing. That's what I love about Sam Putt Lab because Sam Putt Lab, it lets you know what your stroke is doing, right? So when you go out there, and I tell people all the time, go out and look at the percentage from each distance of putts on PGA Tour and what the percentage of make is, because that's going to free you up that next round. Because when you're on the putting green putting with your buddies and you think you should make that 8-footer, well, that 8-footer is less than 65% on PGA Tour.
I was going to say, it always cracks me up when somebody misses like an 8-footer. Like, I should have made that.
Or a
It's like,
12-footer. And I'm like, you almost had...
PGA Tour average from that range is 40%, and you think you're a better putter than them, right? Because, let's face it, until you get over 50%, you shouldn't have made it.
Yeah.
Your chances are greater that you miss it than you made it.
Yeah, and that's what I laugh at. But what Sam Putt Lab does, though, at least takes your stroke out, because what's the first thing you do when you miss a putt?
Blame your stroke.
Blame your stroke.
Yeah.
Now, if you putt with a line and your ball comes out like spinning this way,
If you do something crazy, it's your fault. But now if you can't read a green, that's also part of it too.
I think green reading and speed are the two biggest factors in putting, period.
Yeah. I mean, we saw that with Blair when we did the Breaking 80 series.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
so I love the Putt Lab. I like what's going on in the putter world right now. I mean, you had the Jailbird come out briefly that lasted on our store one day.
Yeah,
Two putters,
it's
so
crazy.
Did it last that long?
yeah, one day, same day.
Yeah.
So, Academy. We have Swing Catalyst here. I'm now accepting new clients finally again. I'm excited about getting back and seeing some new faces and getting plugged back in. What do you guys see in the Academy side of things for your lessons? Because you guys have been kind of killing it, with your clients. How vital do you find Swing Catalyst in your teaching?
I think right now it's the way to do it. When the weather's getting cold like this, you don't have a lot of daylight. If you're an after work golfer, or after work ball beater, and you want to make a change in your game, right? Like an indoor facility right now is perfect for you.
Rain, shine, cold, doesn't matter. And the other thing is we're able to monitor every swing and evaluate it.
Yeah.
And I think having a coach and being that it's off season, this is a great time for you to make that swing change. I mean, that's when the pros do it. They're going to be working with their coaches.
Work during the downtime.
Yeah. Yep. So I think it's a great time to come in and, if you want to kind of take a look at some things.
I say for me, Swing Catalyst is it's a great tool to have in your toolbox to teach someone with, right? And even for the student as well too, it's a good visual. Yeah. If we're sitting back on that right foot in a downswing, and I'm telling you that, but you can't feel that,
We can show you.
I can show you exactly. Hey, look, there's your right foot or your trail foot. You just sat on it 75%.
And I'm saying,
we need to do something different.
to some of our listeners that have taken lessons with us. Even if we might not say something, we as coaches, we look at it every single swing.
Yeah.
I never overlook what's going on with that plate, so we could be focusing on something solely backswing and club related. I'm trying to see what that affects on the ground as well. because I want to make sure we're not changing something but messing something up.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how in depth we are, right, on our side. Even though we might be saying you to do something super simple, what might not seem like that might seem like some other instructor's telling you, we're also looking at a lot of other things, and we're actually able to do that. Someone on a range can't.
Correct.
And that's what's nice. So if you're making a change, we're making a change.
Yeah. And we always kind of use this as a talking point, but, and what Swing Catalyst allows us to start to see or understand a little bit more effectively is force, right?
Yep.
When we're watching a golf swing, we're working on someone's golf swing, we're looking at the motion, right? We can see motion, but we can't see force. Mm-hmm. Motion is the effect of the force that we've input or applied.
Yep.
So once we start to be able to see forces and understand what's happening there, we get to see the root cause.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right. So
exactly.
It's a layer of information that you can't get otherwise, which is what's really important.
And I'll also say this is also not something that, someone can just put on the ground and teach with. Like, we had to go back to physics class, to go through our certifications, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's the biggest thing. It's understanding that there's a difference between weight shift, pressure shift. How do we utilize the 3 ground reaction forces, and which ones work together, and what do they change, and what do they do?
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many lessons I've had probably in the past 3 months after going through the training with Swing Cat in fixing a golf swing without doing a golf lesson.
Yeah.
It was purely based on pressure shift or a setup change that allowed them to free up their movement because they just wasn't shifting their weight the right way.
And the majority of it's alignments.
Oh, yeah.
People can
100%.
have their feet perfectly square, but their hips are going to be 20 to 15 to 25 degrees open just because they're in right toe and left heel.
Yeah.
Yep.
On the grass, you're never able to see that, especially with a lot of these modern golf shoes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm a
especially
big
the
fan if
spikes with higher platforms.
I'm a big fan is if you can. I know everyone's different. We might have some issues feet wise, but flat golf shoes. Mm-hmm. Flat golf shoes are, help us out.
That's why I've been wearing those True Link shoes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. It helps you feel the ground more.
Yep.
I think what's unique too about our programs, we have the technology and the tools to help everyone in every walk of their golf journey.
Yep.
So don't think that because you're a beginner golfer, I don't need that kind of tech. I don't understand it. Well, that's what we're here for. All of us PGA professionals are here to help you understand what we're talking about, understand the numbers. And I think that just makes you a better golfer when you're able to kind of understand, okay, well, what does that spin rate mean? Or what does that pressure change mean? And
it's not, we don't expect you to understand it.
Yeah.
No.
Right. That's what we're here for. That's what
We're
you're
using
paying
it to
for.
show you.
We're there to show you and teach you that.
And I'd also like to say it's like the golf swing. I tell people all the time when we show them how we utilize pressure in our golf swing, how we utilize the ground, I should say. Golf swing's a movement.
Yeah. I mean, it's no different than a tennis movement or a baseball
it's a movement,
swing movement.
right?
Yep.
So, but there's a proper sequence to it.
Exactly.
On how do we move. There's a lot of people try to come in, especially beginner golfers, where someone told them they need to stay still, swing their arms. Yeah. Well, now you're at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have no power.
Nope. So, and that's the thing. If anything, it's a great way to get a new golfer started.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Because if we can teach the movement, the rest of it comes with that pretty easily.
Can't tell you how many times I've had a client grab a golf ball and I tell them to stand on the pressure mat and then throw it like a baseball.
Perfect.
And then now explain how you did that.
Yeah.
But let's start from the ground up.
Oh, Caleb went and got his dog toy.
Yeah.
Maui's going to love it when he comes back.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. I was like, we do that quite often.
You just hit in there and you're like, man, that didn't sound like a golf ball. I'm like, oh, Caleb's using his ball thrower.
Yeah. We're playing fetch.
It's a patent pending technology to fix the slice.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
So
That's great. So anything else you guys got?
I think that about covers it.
Yeah.
man.
I'd like to thank everybody for listening. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on those push bell notifications, and we'll see you next time.